Welcome back everyone to Heroes and Villains HQ, and today we have more UCS Lego Death Star leaks and why I think this set could be worse than we could have ever possibly imagined. So before we jump in, be sure to subscribe to my channel down below to stay tuned for more Star Wars and Marvel content. But let's go ahead and talk about what could be the worst UCS set to date. So starting off with the details of the set before we talk opinions. So it's coming out October 1st of this year. It's going to be $1,000, including 9,019 pieces, 39 total minifigures. We set 75419, and we recently got news that the UCS Death Star that's going to be $1,000 will actually just be a half sphere diorama. And we know this because the dimensions of the set leaked. It's going to be 31.1 inches in length, 27.4 inches in width, and then 10.6 inches in depth. So obviously it's massive in terms of height and width. However, the depth only being 10 inches, I mean, that's about this big. It's not going to be large, and it's going to have to be a half sphere. And we do know this because all of the reputable leakers online have said it's going to be a diorama-esque build that's only a half sphere. The way you should think about it is the Cloud City diorama UCS set at the time, if you just tipped it over, okay? That's what it's gonna look like. So before we talk about the minifigures, let's just talk about the build. Obviously we have no images. This could be super, super cool. However, I don't think we could be more disappointed in what we've learned so far. You're talking $1,000, over 9,000 pieces. This is going to be the most expensive Lego set of all time and the largest Lego Star Wars set of all time. When you think of the Death Star, it's a moon, right? It's a space station, it's a sphere. And for $1,000, I think everybody expected it to be a fully paneled Episode 4 Death Star. And we're getting half of it. I can't help but be disappointed. Like I said, we don't have images. It could be super, super cool. It could be really, really awesome. However, it's a half sphere. It's not a Death Star, and that sucks. So let's give Lego the benefit of the doubt for the rest of the video, okay? Let's say the half sphere is actually the right route. And let's say that the diorama is going to be super awesome. And I'll give Lego credit here. Obviously, if it was a full sphere, and they had scenes on the inside and it was fully covered by panels, well, then you wouldn't be able to appreciate all of the different scenes from the Death Star without opening up the actual panels. And then at that point, well, why would you even have a full sphere and have the panels? Why not just have a diorama? So like I said, I don't agree with it, but let's give Lego the benefit of the doubt. Let's say this was the right route to take. On the front half, you're gonna have a paneled sphere signaling the Death Star, and on the back, you're gonna have this flat surface and all of the different rooms showing you the different scenes from the Death Star, okay? With that in mind, what that tells you is Lego decided that they wanted to prioritize the diorama look and scene building rather than a more accurate, fully paneled Death Star. So what does that mean? If they're prioritizing a diorama and scene building, you would expect you'd have all the figures needed for those scenes, and you'd have the most accurate versions of them, because that's what Lego's prioritizing in their set. They're prioritizing you scene building. So you would expect that the minifigures would be the best versions of them. But that's not the case. So let's talk about the real issue with this set here. Any images of the actual build are irrelevant at this point in my mind because of how bad this minifigure list is and all of the issues with it. So let's talk about the 39 minifigures that are going to be included in this Death Star. Let's first start with the heroes. We have 10 heroes, and they're all of the figures you would expect. Farm Boy Luke, Stormtrooper Disguise Luke, Jedi Knight Luke, Han Solo, Stormtrooper Disguise Han Solo, Chewbacca, Princess Leia, Obi-Wan Kenobi, R2-D2, and C-3PO. Now, among these 10 figures, there are some slight print updates for the Leia, possibly for the Farm Boy Luke and the Han Solo, but nothing crazy. The real issue of these 10 figures, the C-3PO, doesn't have the dual molded leg. Now, I don't want to be crazy, But the C-3PO with the dual molded leg was included in the $240 UCS Luke's Landspeeder, in the $140 buildable C-3PO, and it is now on sale as a $6 keychain. Yet it is being omitted from the $1,000 UCS Death Star. Why? There's no reason to it. There's absolutely no reason as to why that figure should be omitted from this set. And again, LEGO's prioritizing scene building by making it a diorama version of the Death Star rather than a more accurate sphere. And it doesn't include the best C-3PO that they have to offer to date. Okay, that's problem one with the minifigure list. But that's not it. Let's move on to the next set of figures. These are all the Imperial characters. And there's a little bit of love here that we will enjoy talking through it. But let's first start with the main characters. We're going to get Grand Moff Tarkin, Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, for the first time ever, Admiral Mahdi, General Tag, and then a new Colonel Yularen. Also getting a brand new Imperial Dignitary, Galen Erso, and a new Orson Krennic. Okay, looking at these named Imperial characters, what are the issues here? Grand Moff Tarkin, Admiral Mahdi, General Tag, and Colonel Yularen. Not a single one of these figures have dual molded legs. Now, if they didn't have dual molded legs in production, and maybe this was the best route to take, I get it. However, similar to the C-3PO, Colonel Yularen would require a white leg with black boots, and that's currently on sale in the Battle of Peridea set for Admiral Thrawn at $55. As for Tarkin, Mahdi, and Tag, they would require a gray leg with the black boots. That piece is also currently on sale for the $650 UCS Venator for Admiral Yularen there. So once again, this isn't a matter of production or production costs. These parts for 3PO, for Yularen, for Tarkin, Mahdi, and Tag, these parts are currently in production and being sold in cheaper sets for LEGO. $6 keychain, $55 Battle of Peridea, $650 UCS Venator. And they are excluded from what is going to be the most premium LEGO Star Wars product, the $1,000 UCS Death Star. After that set of figures, now we're getting into the Imperial Crew, which is really all of the figures you would expect. We're getting an Imperial Protocol Droid 5D6 RA7. This is brand new prints, and it also has printing on the head, so this is a great new figure. We're going to be getting 6 Stormtroopers, 2 Imperial Gunners, 2 Imperial Technicians, 2 Royal Guards to accompany Palpatine, at least 1 Imperial Shuttle Pilot. It does look like there is 1 more astromech droid, although we can't make out the name of that droid. And then the last figure that is known, and this is one of the coolest ones, is the Hot Tub Stormtrooper. So this one, again, is another highlight of the set. Really great figure. After that, on this list, there are still 3 figures that are currently unknown. However, given the placement of these missing figures on the box, I wouldn't expect any standouts. I would expect these to be Imperial characters as well. And my guess, based on where they are on the box, I would expect 1 more Imperial Shuttle Pilot. As we've seen with the rest of the Imperial Crew, they come in pairs. 2 Technicians, 2 Gunners, 2 Royal Guards, 6 Stormtroopers. I would expect the Imperial Shuttle Pilot to not just be 1, but 2. And that would leave us with 2 figures, and there is one glaring omission from the Imperial Crew, and that is the Imperial Navy officer, or rather the Imperial Detention Block officer. We are obviously getting the Stormtrooper disguise figures of Luke and Han, so that tells us the Imperial cell block will be in this set. And with that said, there's one figure that they encounter during that scene that's the Imperial cell block, I guess, technician, and they have those long helmets. So I would expect to see them as well. So even among the Imperial Crew, nothing crazy. The Stormtroopers are pretty much the same. Imperial Gunners are the same. I want to call out the Imperial Technicians, the scanning crew. Their legs have no printing, despite those figures being released in the $160 Imperial Star Destroyer last year, having leg prints. Royal Guards are exactly the same. Imperial Shuttle Pilots are going to be, looks like somewhat new, but similar prints, like nothing to write home about. So you take a look at these 39 minifigures, okay? And out of that list, the three standout figures are the Imperial Dignitary, Galen Erso, and the Hot Tub Stormtrooper. After that, the new exclusive figures, Mahdi, Tag, Tarkin, which we haven't seen in forever, Yularen, who's only ever been in a polybag, all of those figures lack a basic part that is being sold currently in cheaper sets that would have made them spectacular figures. Also, figures like C-3PO, the Imperial Technicians, they are lacking parts that were included in their previous releases. So truly, I love Lego. I've collected Lego for 20 years. It is my jam. I love Lego, and I defend Lego more than I probably should. And a lot of the times I try and give them the benefit of the doubt. I try and understand why they may have made a decision. However, this set, and I get it, photos aren't out yet. I may be making my opinions too soon. This could be really cool. But based off what we have seen in this minifigure list, this is completely unacceptable on all fronts. Anybody who believes that this is acceptable from a company that makes billions of dollars, if you think that this is an acceptable product, you're kidding yourself. You're kidding yourself. $1,000 for an Ultimate Collector Series Death Star. Like I said, this is going to be the most premium product Lego has released to date. And the minifigure list is lacking basic details that they have actively released previously within the last few years. It's not like I'm asking for crazy exclusive figures with new molds or massively new prints and asking for arm printing and side leg printing and back leg printing on every single figure. I'm just asking for them to do what they currently do for cheaper sets. Dual molded legs that they've released in $6, $55, and $650 sets. Basic leg printing that we saw in a $160 set. And an Imperial Crew that actually lives up to the standards. I mean, there's not even a TIE pilot in this set. There's no TIE pilots for the Death Star. So I'm blown away at how awful this minifigure list is. And the funny thing is that the actual minifigure list of characters, if you go check out my original minifigure prediction video, which I'll link above, I actually almost nailed down to a T what figures were going to be included in the set. However, if you watch that video, I would note that for them to release all of these figures, most of which we've already seen in some capacity in the last few years. Again, the only figures here that we've never seen before are the Dignitary, Galen Erso, Hot Tub Stormtrooper, Mahdi, and Tag. So 5 of 39 we've never seen before. I expected that if they were going to release so many figures we've seen in the line before, that they would do something for a lot of them to slightly upgrade them. Whether it's slight arm printing, dual molded legs, maybe a new exclusive dual-sided head. We don't see any of that. None of that is present at all. Even the Imperial Technician, one of the bottom barrel minifigures that are throw-ins here just to fill out the Imperial Crew, doesn't even have the leg print that it has from the 2024 Imperial Star Destroyer. I'm so excited to see the interviews from the LAN members on why the designers decided to go this route. Because like I said, unacceptable. Flat out unacceptable. And it's really upsetting. It really is. So I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Obviously, I'm pretty passionate about my disappointment for this set so far, but I'd love to hear your opinions even if you disagree with me. So let me know down in the comments below what you think of what we've learned so far of the upcoming UCS Death Star and if it's going to be worth $1,000. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit the subscribe button down below to stay tuned for more Star Wars and Marvel content on my channel. But again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.